My hair was a mess. It was the first thing I saw in the mirror every morning. The old braids were tired and fuzzy, sticking out in every direction like confused soldiers. I was 6 months pregnant, and my body was changing in ways I did not understand. My face was rounder, my feet were swollen, and all I wanted was something beautiful to hold on to. A fresh set of long, flowing braids seemed like the only thing that could make me feel like myself again. It was a simple wish, a small piece of beauty in a world that felt heavy and uncertain. I imagined the feeling of the new braids swinging lightly against my back as I walked. It was more than just hair. It was a prayer for grace. I approached my husband, Aid, later that evening. He was sitting on the sofa, staring at the blank television screen, his mind clearly 1,000 miles away. I sat beside him gently, trying to make my voice as sweet as honey. "My love," I began, "I need to make my hair. It has been weeks and I look like a mad woman." He turned to me, his eyes full of a familiar weariness that had become his constant companion. He tried to smile, but it did not reach his eyes. He sighed a heavy sigh, the kind that carried the weight of all our unpaid bills and growing debts. It was a sound I had come to dread, the sound of another no. Aid took my hand in his. His hands were rough from his work at the construction site, but his touch was always soft. "Aduni, my treasure," he said, his voice low and strained. "You know things are tight right now. The contract I was hoping for did not come through. Can we please wait? Just a little while longer. Maybe next month things will be better." I pulled my hand away, a hot wave of disappointment washing over me. It was always next month. Next month never seemed to arrive, and my patience was wearing as thin as the threadbare curtains hanging in our living room. It felt so unfair. I looked at him, and for a moment, I saw not the man I loved, but a symbol of all our struggles. All the other pregnant women I saw at the clinic had beautiful hair, new clothes, and happy smiles. They glowed. I felt like I was wilting. "It is just hair, Aid," I said, my voice rising with frustration. "Just hair. Is that too much to ask for? Do I not deserve to feel beautiful even once?" He looked down at his hands, a deep line of shame etched between his brows. He had no answer for me. The silence in the room was loud, filled with my unmet desires and his quiet failure. It was a painful silence. The next few days were very difficult. The air in our small apartment was thick with unspoken words and heavy feelings. Every time Aid and I looked at each other, the same argument was there in our eyes. I would cook his meals, and we would eat in silence. The clinking of our spoons against the plates was the only sound. I felt a bitter resentment growing in my heart like a stubborn weed. I knew he was trying his best. I knew he worked hard under the hot sun every day, but knowing that did not make my own feelings of deprivation disappear. I felt trapped by our lack of money, and I unfairly blamed him for it. One afternoon, the heat was unbearable. I was trying to nap, but the baby was kicking and my mind was racing. I thought about the cool, air-conditioned salon I used to go to before we got married. I remembered the scent of shampoo and the happy chatter of women. Now, even the thought of it felt like a distant dream. I started to cry, silent tears rolling down my cheeks and soaking the pillow. I was crying for the braids I could not have, for the cool breeze I could not feel, for the life I thought we would have. It was a life filled with simple comforts, not this constant struggle for every single naira. The tension finally broke on Friday. Aid came home with a small bag of oranges. He offered one to me with a hopeful smile, trying to make peace. "For you and the baby," he said softly. But I was not in the mood for peace offerings. I saw the oranges not as a gift of love, but as a poor substitute for what I truly wanted. "Oranges?" I scoffed, my voice dripping with sarcasm. "Is this what you bring home instead of money for my hair? We will eat oranges now, will we?" The hurt in his eyes was immediate and deep, but my anger was a wildfire I could no longer control. "I am tired, Aid. I am tired of this life," I shouted, standing up from the bed. "I am tired of waiting and hoping. Other men provide for their wives. They make sure their pregnant wives are comfortable and happy. But you just tell me to wait." The words were cruel, and I knew it as soon as they left my mouth, but I could not take them back. He stood there, frozen, his face a mask of pain and shock. He did not say a word. He just turned and walked out of the room, gently closing the door behind him, leaving me alone with the echoes of my own harshness. I could not stay in that apartment for one more second. The walls felt like they were closing in on me, suffocating me with my own anger and guilt. I grabbed my wrapper, tied it firmly around my expanding waist, and stormed out of the house. I did not know where I was going. I just knew I had to move. I walked and walked, the afternoon sun beating down on my uncovered head. My feet, already swollen, began to ache, but I barely noticed. I was walking away from the fight, from the disappointment, from the man I had just wounded so deeply with my words. My heart was pounding, a painful rhythm of anger and regret. My aimless wandering led me to a part of town I did not visit often. It was a busy area, full of shops and people. I saw a small hair salon tucked between a food canteen and a tailor's shop. It was not fancy. It was a simple place with a wooden sign that read, "Glory's Touch Salon." It was open to the street, and I could hear the sound of a generator humming and women laughing. On a sudden impulse, I decided to go in. I did not have money to get my hair done, but I thought maybe, just maybe, I could ask how much the braids I wanted would cost. It was a small act of defiance. I sat on a worn-out plastic chair near the entrance, pretending to be waiting for a friend. The air inside was hot and smelled of hair cream and sweat, but it was alive with energy. Two stylists were busy with customers, their fingers flying as they weaved intricate patterns. Other women sat under dryers or waited their turn, gossiping and laughing loudly. For a moment, I felt a pang of envy. They all seemed so carefree, so untroubled. I just wanted to sit there for a while, to be invisible, and to listen to conversations that had nothing to do with my own life. The woman in the stylist's chair was talking loudly, her voice carrying over the noise of the salon. She was complaining about her husband. "Can you imagine? He has been sending money to his mother again without telling me. Every kobo we have, he gives it away. He has no sense." The stylist, a woman named Glory, I presumed, just nodded and tutted sympathetically. I listened, my own problems entirely forgotten, as I was drawn into the dramas of these strangers. It was a small, temporary escape from the storm brewing inside my own heart. As I sat there, trying to be invisible, another woman chimed in. Her name was Mama Junior. "You think that is bad?" she said with a laugh. "My own husband has eyes for every woman that passes by. Yesterday, I caught him sending airtime to that girl that sells bread down the street. When I asked him, he said he was just being a good Samaritan. I swear these men will be the death of us." The women all laughed, a sound of shared frustration and knowing acceptance. They began trading stories, each one more shocking than the last, about cheating husbands, stingy partners, and men who spent all their money on drink and gambling. I listened quietly, my heart beginning to feel a strange mix of emotions. These women, with their beautifully braided hair and colorful clothes, had problems that made my own seem different somehow. Their husbands gave them money for hair and clothes, yes, but they did not give them peace of mind. They did not give them loyalty. The conversation then shifted to a man who worked nearby. "Ah, but have you people seen that man who works at the big construction site down the road?" one of the women asked. "The one they call Aid. He is so quiet and hardworking." My ears perked up, my breath caught in my throat. They were talking about my Aid. "Oh, Aid," Mama Junior exclaimed. "I know him. He is a good man, a very good man. He never looks at another woman twice. Every day he passes my shop on his way home, always tired, but he always greets me respectfully. He does not follow bad company. You will never see him at the beer parlor with the other men after work. He just faces his front and goes straight home to his wife. That his wife is a very lucky woman. A faithful man is more precious than gold in this Lagos." The other women murmured in agreement, nodding their heads. "It is true," another added. "A man like that is one in a million." A wave of shock, followed by a profound sense of shame, washed over me. I had been sitting in my house, feeling sorry for myself, angry that my husband could not give me material things. I had called him a failure. But out here, in the world, strangers saw him as a treasure. They saw his loyalty, his hard work, his decency. They saw the things that money could not buy, the very things I had been taking for granted. I saw him clearly then, not through the lens of my frustration, but through the eyes of these women. I had a good man, I had a faithful man, and I had just chased him away with my bitter words. I stood up so quickly that the plastic chair almost fell over. I mumbled a hasty thank you to the women, who looked at me in confusion, and I rushed out of the salon. I did not walk this time. I ran. Tears streamed down my face, but these were not tears of anger or self-pity. They were tears of regret and a dawning, overwhelming love for my husband. How could I have been so blind? I had been measuring his love in Naira and Kobo, when he was giving me a fortune in loyalty and devotion every single day. My swollen feet no longer ached. My heart felt light, filled with a desperate need to make things right. When I got home, the apartment was quiet. Aid was sitting on the edge of our bed, his head in his hands. He looked defeated. My heart broke all over again. I went to him and knelt on the floor, placing my hand on his knee. He looked up, his eyes red and swollen. "Aid, my husband," I whispered, my voice thick with emotion. "I am so sorry. Forgive me. I was foolish and ungrateful. I said terrible things and I did not mean them." A tear escaped his eye and rolled down his cheek. He did not speak, but he placed his hand over mine and I knew he was listening. I knew words were not enough. I had to show him. I went into our small kitchen. We did not have much, but I found some yams and the last bit of palm oil. Pounded yam with a goosey soup was his favorite meal. It was the meal I cooked for him when we were first married, the meal that always made him smile. As I peeled the yam and pounded it with all my strength, I poured all my love, my apology, and my newfound gratitude into the food. It was more than just dinner. It was a peace offering. It was a promise to see the good, to cherish what we had, to be a better wife. That night we ate together. I served him his food and he looked at me, a slow, gentle smile spreading across his face. He did not have to say anything. I could see the forgiveness in his eyes. After we ate, he pulled me close, resting his hand on my pregnant belly. "Thank you, Adoni," he whispered. "This is all I ever want." I leaned my head against his chest, feeling the steady beat of his heart. My hair was still a mess and our money problems had not vanished. But in that moment, wrapped in his arms, I felt richer than I ever had before. I had a faithful man, a loving home, and a heart full of gratitude. And that was more beautiful than any braid.